What is up, guys? It is the Citrus Panny here today, and today I'm coming at you with a review for episode 16 of season 2 of Haikyuu. Let's do this. Alright, so this episode was pretty interesting, actually. The ending left me basically wanting more in most ways. The thing about the ending to this episode is really interesting because of the fact that usually in sports anime, and I think most people will agree with me, that whenever there's usually not a lot of things that can shake up the foundations of a show. There's not a lot of things that can go terribly wrong. Like, you're not usually gonna see somebody get killed in a sports anime. I mean, it could happen, possibly, out there, in some random anime, but it's probably not going to happen. It's very unlikely. Now, these types of things that shake up the plot, they don't happen tons of times. So, usually in a sports anime, it's more about, like, how cool they can do the sports matches and the backstory and the character development. But what happened in this episode was quite interesting. And at the very end, we see, I'm going to flat out talk about it right now because that's the biggest part about this episode to me personally. So, Daichi-san, he basically goes in for there's basically, like, a ball coming towards Karasuno's side. And they were kind of like rallying it a little bit. One of them got a really good save, and then Daichi went for the like a second save, and it was going up. But then he was like, okay, it's going up for the third time, and all they need to do is get it over the net. So the ball went over. They hit it twice. Like two different people hit it, and now Daichi was going for the third hit. However, Tanaka, we see him run out in front, and Daichi, I'm assuming, literally just slammed into him. And at the very end, we see Daichi-san on the ground, kind of like his shoulder looks like it's, like, not in a good position, I would assume. This could be really bad. This could spell disaster for Karasuno. Look at it this way, guys. Daichi-san is the glue for Karasuno, and in fact, what was interesting is that the coach for Karasuno, Ukai, he was basically saying flat out that this was going to be a battle of the captains. Because Daichi-san, like I was talking about, he's like a glue for the team. Whenever his team is kind of like, okay, man, we're getting a little bit down, or, they like their emotions are getting too high or whatever, and they need to, like, settle down and just play the game, Daichi-san will be there. He will, like, do that because he's a third year. He has a lot of experience. He knows his players well, and he knows how to, get into their head and, like, help them progress. But the problem is that if he's not there, if he's not on the court helping, that could be disastrous. Look at it this way. Haikyuu, I almost guarantee, is not going to be a 2-season anime. If I were to guess, Kuroko no Basket is a 3-season anime, 75 episodes. If I were to guess, Haikyuu probably around the same. The manga's going strong, as far as I know, and I'm assuming that there's going to be 3 seasons, possibly even more, so who knows. But if this is what spells disaster for Karasuno, it's very unfortunate, because Karasuno is a really strong team right now, and I want to talk about that during this even small review thing I'm doing. This is the main focus around Daichi, but I do want to get to the part where Karasuno seems to be improving very rapidly and very just, I don't know the word to use here, but not only rapidly, but versatility. Basically is the word I was looking for, I guess. They just have so many moves up their sleeves for different situations now. But without Daichi-san there, I do not think that they can make it far at all. In fact, I think he's like not only the glue, but he's kind of like the backbone of the team. So without him, I think they're going to have a very tough time. And it's going to be a really big problem. However, we did see them beat Johenshi, or Team Joe, because I don't know how to say that name. Team Joe basically got beaten pretty bad by Karasuno, and they kind of got some points. It was like, I think they might have lost by like 6 or something. I don't quote me on that. I'm not smart, but the thing is that they were still doing like the combination attacks, and Team Joe, you know them. They're just going hard in the paint all the time. There was a short little emotional kind of segment going on because the coach or the manager, I don't know if the girl on Team Joe was like the coach / manager, like kind of helped out with both, I guess, maybe. Maybe more of a manager, but kind of stepped in for some coaching duties. Whatever the case may be, I don't know. But she was kind of, a little bit emotional there because, she's third year, so that was I think it's their last chance to do anything. Because, the third years can't play the next part. So going back to the whole idea of the about how Daichi-san is injured. If he is injured and he can't play for this, I would assume that that means that they're done. Like, they don't have any other tournament. Unless there's, like, another tournament that they can play in, then that's pretty bad for them. Very similar, I think, to, I'm going to relate it back to Kurika's basketball. I don't think it's really a spoiler, but whenever Kiyoshi was introduced and he had that injury, he could pick to basically hold off on that and be okay, or play a year of basketball and kind of, like, you know, have that injury or whatever, and hold off on the surgery, and he did hold off, but, you know, that's probably going to catch up to him. The moral of the story is that without Daichi-san on the team, I think it's going to be very difficult for Karasuno. However, I do want to say that Karasuno is a very strong team. So in this episode, they were actually up against Wakutani. Okay, I actually had to look that up on my computer because I wasn't exactly sure what that was. But they had to play against those that team, and they were considered a pretty good team. However, Karasuno was actually beating them. They were kind of rallying back and forth, was pretty even overall, but eventually kind of pulled ahead and basically just started to win. And that's pretty crazy because you think about Karasuno, and maybe they weren't the best, but with all the training and everything they put into it, they seem like a really top tier team. Very likely they could win like the entire thing if they really, really went, you know, all the way. But with the whole injury to Daichi-san, I don't know what the severity of this is. If it's for a game, if it's for the rest of the thing, if it's, you know, he's not going to be a character that can play and in the show anymore. It's going to be really crazy, and if, I mean, I'm just theory crafting right now, you know me, making those bold predictions. You know, is it going to be like Daichi-san has to be replaced? Like, does someone on the team have to step up, take his place? Personally, I don't know. I'm really hyped for the next episode. They really threw a loophole into the series for me, and I thought this was just going to be an episode where they just beat Wakutani, and then the next episode they actually beat him for real and moved on, but no, it was big plot device introduced, and I'm hyped to see what happens next. So until next time, guys, keep it real.